Welcome back to Mario Superstar Baseball for the Nintendo GameCube. In the last episode, we started challenge mode with Mario, as I believe him to be the second worst default team, which is a little bit sad. But the good news is, we got a lot of the star missions done in our first match alone against Yoshi, and recruited a fair chunk of his team as well. So the only thing we have left to do in terms of the star missions is just winning MVP for Luigi and dropping a squeeze bunt with Monty Mole. Other than that, all the other characters that default to his team, we're totally done with. So we'll get to swap some characters out and see a little bit of variety. Getting Luigi to be MVP is not going to be too terribly hard. Dropping that squeeze bunt, however, which I'll talk about what that is going to be a little bit tougher. So I'm going to go play a minigame in order to get some coins to buy an item to help increase that chance. The Piranha plants are giving everyone fits. Let's put a stop to them. Let's do it. I'm going through these minigames in terms of what I think is the easiest to the most difficult. Some due to actual challenge, some due to it being luck-based. If you know, you know. But the second easiest one for me, personally, is Piranha Panic. Who you choose on this does not matter in the slightest. Pick whoever you like. I'm going to go with normal difficulty, because that's about where I feel I'm confident that I can win. Alright, win first place to clear, which will be the case for any difficulty you play on. You score points if you throw eggs of the same color as the Piranha plants. Yeah, that statement is wrong. You score points if you throw eggs at the Piranha plants that are the same color as the eggs. I think they meant at rather than as. Somebody might have typoed that. If you throw an egg of the wrong color, they'll fight back with fireballs. You clear the game if you get the most points within the time limit. Those are the different egg colors: red, yellow, green, blue. You can dodge fireballs by ducking. You can press B to drop an egg, as there are only 3 Piranha plants maximum at any given time. If there is no green Piranha plant, you might want to just drop that egg rather than waiting for one to show up. You can hit a purple giant Piranha plant. 2 of them will show up per game with any egg. Sometimes a Bomb-Omb will appear, and you can throw this at any Piranha plant to get lots of points. You can also drop it with B to attack another player at random. What they don't tell you, once again, is how to aim. You have to hit left, right, or up, or hold left, right, and up when hitting A to throw at the left, right, or center Piranha plants, respectively. In terms of how to dodge attacks, be it fireballs from throwing the wrong color or bombs thrown at you by opponents, you hold down on the analog stick. That's how you dodge those. If you do get hit, you'll be knocked out for a few seconds, so ducking actually is better overall to save time. I tend to focus on the eggs, the little row of eggs that I've got. It seems to be the best place to keep my eyes, but every now and again I'll have to kind of look up to reconfirm what Piranha plants are where. And there you go. That wasn't exactly like an optimal run, and ultimately, since I was playing on a low difficulty or a normal difficulty, it was probably better that I used the bombs to attack Piranha plants to get additional points rather than attacking my opponents. But that spread of scores between 2nd, 3rd, and 4th will give you an idea roughly of how the Shy Guys score in that game. Sorry I had to be quiet during that, but that kind of requires a bit of focus, oddly enough. But if you can get over 100 points and you're playing on normal, you're going to be fine. You're going to easily be fine. Alright, so how are we going to increase our chances? Well, I mentioned this last episode. We're going to buy this item, the Dash Spikes. Makes everyone run faster, the perfect cure for slowpokes. This is only good for the next game, and when it says the next game, it means the next game. This can refer to winning a game, losing a game, doing a half-inning game with Bowser Jr., and I think also technically the mini-games. So do not buy this unless you're certain, or you can save Scum, which we'll talk about in a second. Which is exactly what you think it is, but I think it's reasonable in this particular instance. The price of these items will increase depending on the difficulty you play. It will go up by 50 coins each difficulty. So 150 for Flower, 200 for Star, and 250 for Special. Just bear that in mind. Very quickly, in order, the rest of these will make it everyone easier to get hits, meaning the spread on the bat is increased a little bit. Power Bat lets the team hit the ball harder to get more... It says a homer machine. I wouldn't go that far. Super Ball lets the pitches go faster and makes them curve more. The Lucky Glove means that your fielders will have less chance to make mistakes. And then the Dash Spikes we already talked about. This last one here, I'll go ahead and spoil for you. It's the Buddy Badge. Whenever you start recruiting more teammates, I think you have to get an opposing captain for this. This will allow your synergy on your team to improve slightly. This is a good one to pick up. These specials down here you can also pick up once you've gotten your additional captains. As you can see, Birdo's is available, so we'll grab hers right now. And then there's some additional hidden ones at the bottom here that we'll talk about at a later date, as well as one additional one that I think isn't there, but we'll get to that when we get to it. For now, let's go ahead and do some save scumming. The reason for doing this is it is entirely possible that I do not clear Monty Mole's challenge and still easily win the game, but I will lose the Dash Spikes, meaning I would have to go play a minigame again, get the Dash Spikes again, and re-challenge Yoshi again. Which would be fair, if not for the fact that how many times you can play the minigames, once again, are limited. There is a finite amount, meaning that there is a finite amount of coins that you can get. You might be thinking, oh, but you can get coins from Bowser Jr. This is true. However, he will disappear off of the field after you've beaten him, or even if you've lost him. After you've challenged him, he disappears from the field until you play another minigame or challenge another team. If you have made all captains except for Bowser surrender and played every minigame the required amount of times, there is no way to get any more coins as he will not reappear on the field. So yes, there is a finite amount of coins. You'll also notice now that there's a couple question marks on the team, as some characters are missing from Yoshi's team because we recruited them. Since we have done so, I'm going to just swap out a couple of characters here. I'm not going to pick Baby Luigi, though. I'm going to swap Luigi in here. I'm going to leave Monty Mole where he is. With this happening, whenever characters get recruited but the captain is still there, they will replace the characters with characters that sort of fit their team. In the case of Yoshi, that's going to be Shy Guys. A lot of Shy Guys. But it will vary with other characters. With Peach's team, that will be Toads. With Donkey Kong's, it will be Toads, Koopas, and Paratroopas. With Wario's, it'll be Magic Koopas. You get the idea. Just expect to see some duplicate characters as a result. Very quickly, it is worth noting, I did take a Pianta and a Noki off my team, yet they did not appear in the little character selection screen. Should you remove a palette swap character, you will not be able to get them back in this run of challenge mode. If I got rid of the blue Noki and the red Noki, I would be able to reselect the blue Noki, but I could not get the other two back. So bear that in mind. If you want to keep a specific palette swap on your team, as they do vary slightly in stats, then make sure to not accidentally remove them from your team. So, for getting that squeeze bunt for Noki, dropping a squeeze bunt means that he has to bunt while somebody is on third base, and whoever is on third base needs to cross home plate. Do not do this with 2 outs, because he's almost assuredly going to get tagged out, and that will result in a failure. For this reason, you're going to want to put Monty Mole in either third or fourth position, and put 2 batters you are pretty confident with in first and second position. I'm going to stick with this personally. I think this is a decent setup, but I would also swap out for Birdo. As for Luigi for MVP, I already put him on the pitching mound, so we should be good to go. Once we get to pitching, we'll also be talking about how I think Luigi does as a whole. But for now, we're not going to worry about it. I don't think that team name has changed, but bear in mind, as the team composition changes, so too will the team names. Other than how the little logos look, this doesn't determine anything. It just kind of gives you an idea of like, oh hey, these characters on Wario's team. Stuff like that. It's not really important per se, but something I did want to mention. I also wanted to mention, it might be a good idea for me to hit the ball and not miss. That is not going to be enough for a double. I should have swung a bit better, but oh well. The goal here is to get Mario to third. That should work. Yep, we're in the clear. No outs, Mario's on third. The dash spikes, like with all the other items that I picked up, or that I showed, do affect your entire team, by the way, so it will increase Mario's running as well. Nope, that didn't work. Alright, so, save scumming. An interesting fact about the GameCube, or in my case the Wii since that's what I'm playing on, if you hold down Start, B, and X, you'll reset the machine without having to hit the reset button. But yeah, it's little small things like this of, like, yes, technically you did fail due to skill, but you could just either reset and retry faster or not reset and retry and take more time. And as we're doing this in a recording session, taking less time than necessary is probably the ideal way to go about it. You just load up your file again from the last save, and give it another shake. Yeah, needless to say, where you hit the ball while bunting does matter, because you don't want the ball to fly in the air like that. You want it to kind of just drag along the ground, typically towards third if you're trying to, you know, actually get your runner to first. And I actually do want to swap out. I'm just kind of picking at random here who I swap out. I'm going to switch Birdo in here. No, I'm going to switch Birdo to here, and Shy Guy to here, because Birdo and Shy Guy have chemistry. Birdo has an ability called Suction. Nice. That enables you to catch the ball. It's like a better diving catch, basically. Hit Animal here. Put Shy Guy here. And go. So yeah, you'll have to, again, because you didn't save until after, because you can't change your turn order or fielding stuff like that unless you're in the preamble for a game. You can't just do it on the overworld, which is a bit of a shame. You'll have to do that part again, but that's not as big a deal of having to wait multiple innings to actually go and make another attempt at it. That's going to be an out. Alright, cool. That is actually an example of a very hard challenge for Baby Luigi to do, called catching a booted ball, which is Baby Luigi and another person, I think it's Luigi, it might be Baby Mario, have to both be in the outfield. Somebody has to hit the ball to the outfield, have it not go towards that baby, but another player, and they have to make an error. The ball has to fly through the air, and they have to catch the ball, resulting in an out. Challenges like these are why I'm not doing 100% in this game, because that's completely ridiculous trying to force that to happen. That will happen by accident, or not at all. There is no other way other than trying to increase your chances. You can't force that to happen. It's just, there's too much luck involved there. No, I do want to swap out. There we go. Switch Birdo. Nope, I want to switch Birdo. Thank you. Switch Luigi to pitching. Go back. So I made a mistake there. Stick to Shy Guy. He's a little bit more confident with him. All right. I'm only going to show this save scumming probably the one time if I'm doing a mission where, or like doing something like this where I'm specifically trying to get a challenge done. If I don't clear it the first time, I might show the first failed attempt, and after that, any other resets I'm not going to worry about as much. I just won't show them off. And then I'll just cut directly to the successful attempt. This, however, should be good enough for a double. Yeah. I could have attempted to go for a triple there, but, I mean, we've got another batter here, so I think we'll be okay. Shy Guy does fine in terms of batting, whether you charge or not, but, like, not charging, you're usually going to get, like, a pretty easy base hit like this. I'll talk about him in more detail when we actually use Yoshi's team, but that'll give you an idea of what you're looking at here. There we go, that's much more like it. He was out, but thank you, I appreciate it. I'm going to try to get some RBIs here with Luigi, even though his star swing is not ideal. You know what, I'm actually not even going to use the star swing. That is going to be an out, though. Yeah. Oh well. If I had had the power bat, the thing that increases your how far you can hit the ball, that definitely would have been a home run. There's no question about that. No. It was worth a shot. We still got a run, and that's the important thing. On easy mode, if you've got any number for your points other than 0, you're probably going to be okay. And if we can clear this, we've gotten all the scout flags as well, which means that we're basically just in a position to finish off the game, which will be nice. Hey Yoshi, think fast. Nice. See, examples like that are what I'm referring to, and I'm like, there are times where it's kind of okay to waste your star power because there's no more scout flags, so the star chances won't get in the way. there's nothing else we're really trying to do other than get Luigi to be MVP, and getting strikeouts is a good way to do that. So it's got all the pros and none of the cons. Nice little bonus there. I'll do Luigi's bio whenever we get to the bottom of the second inning here, since this inning is almost over. And that will be the final out. So hopefully you have all been well during the last few years since last I uploaded, but also just in the last few weeks or months in general. Last week was a very weird week for me. It was bizarre. I had the week off prior because I was going to a convention, actually in VR, which was a lot of fun. It set a couple world records because there was over 21,000 people there, which was pretty awesome. There's Yoshi's special. But after that convention ended, a lot of weird stuff was happening. Without warning, my electricity got shut off. I checked, there was no outages in my area, my bills were paid and I had never missed a payment or been late or anything. There was no call, no text, no voicemail, no email, nothing even in my spam folder. It just stopped working. Eventually got that fixed, and then the exact same thing happened, except this time it was with my, what was it the second time? I'm trying to remember. Oh, what was it? No, it wasn't my internet. Yeah, it was my internet the second time. The reason I had to remember is because there's a third thing that happened, but it was the exact same type of thing. Like, no call, no text, no voicemail, no email, nothing. No identifiable reason. And for both this and the other two, they couldn't tell me why it happened, either. Like, no weird lightning strikes, nothing. I don't know what happened. It was bizarre. That should be enough to get us a point. And this happened right after I got my electricity fixed. So at this point, my internet is now out. That's okay if he gets an out. You know what? I'm actually going to go ahead and end the inning right here. And then the same thing happens again with my AC. It was really bizarre. Like, anything that could have gone wrong would have. Like, I just had to do a lot of fixing stuff. It was very bizarre, but we're all cool now. We've got it all fixed. Speaking of fixing things, let's fix our eyes to the pause menu so I can click over. And we can talk about Luigi Man. How does he fare?
Luigi is tragically not as good as Mario. All of his stats are nearly identical, trading 1 point of batting for 1 point of speed. He'd honestly be better off keeping the point in batting. We haven't talked about the stats in heavy detail, but running is not one of the ones I would consider quite as vital. Accurate swings from his bat will still do fine, whether they're charged or not, but the big problem is that his poor hits will almost always result in a fly ball that will either go into foul territory or just result in an out, whether it makes it to the outfield or not. You would think that his star swing would make up for this, but you'd be horribly wrong. Unlike Mario's, where it basically line drives into the nearest wall, meaning that it will go very deep into the outfield, Luigi's star swing just results in a grounder that will practically crawl along the ground. Sometimes it might reach shortstop or somebody on a base before the fire runs out, but typically that's going to happen right before it reaches a player, meaning that will be picked up and result in an out against Luigi and potentially a double or even triple play. Pitching-wise, Luigi runs near identical to Mario, but why would you give up 2 star points for a green fireball when Mario's could just use 1? Because the pitch does the exact same thing other than, you know, it being a different color. He also really doesn't synergize with as many characters just as a whole. Pitch with Luigi only if you want him as your MVP. In fielding, Luigi trades the sliding catch for a super jump, and that's honestly a massive waste. Rarely will you want to make a jumping catch compared to sliding ones. But hey, he can run slightly faster than Mario? As much as I want to like the guy, I think he's often overpicked in favor of characters that honestly you should be choosing. He's not a bad pick by any stretch, but if you've got a near full lineup to choose from, consider what your team actually needs first.
And there you go. That's a pretty good idea of how Luigi fares. Little disappointing, but what are you going to do, right? And he's far from the worst character on Mario's team. We haven't gotten to that character yet, but you'll know it when you hear it. And thankfully, with all that being done, after seeing if you get to see that really nice double play that I had earlier, we are basically done with this game. I only need to get a few more outs, and we'll be set. I usually just like to practice throwing the ball around the bases whenever it gives me the opportunity to do so. So if you see me do that, that's why. I know there's nobody running to home. I'm not blind. Unlike Monty Mole there. Yeah, sometimes a ball will just get hit basically on top of a Piranha plant, and there's just nothing you can do about it, unfortunately. There's no, like, armor you can put on your characters that's like, oh, hey, this prevents them from getting hurt by fielding stuff. Alright, Baby Mario, you're the last hope of your team before they get disbanded because your captain gives up. Wouldn't you know it, a literal baby infant could not win the baseball game.
For me, Luigi.
And Lewis got it. Well done, Lewis. Very proud of you. This is the game of Luigi rather than the year.
Yahoo for me!
And that is everybody on on Yoshi's team rather recruited. Yoshi, Baby Mario, Baby Luigi, Birdo, and Shy Guy. We've also gotten all the star missions done that we can for Luigi, with him winning MVP and with Monty Mole stealing a base and dropping a squeeze bunt, which I think he only needed to do the second of those, but it's fine. Shy Guy did also get one here with Smack a Hit, which is like, that's pretty easy for almost any character to do with a few exceptions. But again, we're going to go over like his stuff in more detail later on. But that said, because we've got the opportunity to do this now, I am going to go ahead and do this. Belting more than 1,000 points worth of Bomb-Omb. Like I said, not every single challenge is required in order to have you... Is he going to follow me? Child, go away. Go away. Thank you. I'll probably have to challenge him in a second here regardless. He's just going to keep walking forward. Yeah, he's probably going to get us right after this, but that's fine. Not much we can do about it. But yes, some of the characters require you to beat minigames with them and things like that. So since I need to pick up some coins, I'm going to go ahead and do that now. We only have to get more than 1,000, and I shouldn't need more than that, so we'll just go with the default here. I actually don't remember how easy or hard this is to do with Shy Guy, because I'm not used to charge swinging with him. It doesn't feel too awkward. I'll probably be hitting a couple of these shots a little late starting out, but we'll see. Oh, barely inside of that foul line. Man, stop giving me those. Give me, like, anything else. Literally anything else would be better. Or not. I mean, that'll just end the game right there, so... Yeah, nice little bonus that we got his done. Not the end of the world if we hadn't, but... Since I needed coins anyway, and I didn't want to show a new minigame because we'd already done Piranha Panic, I want to save that for a later episode. I felt like now was a pretty decent time to do that. Well done, my boy. He's now an expert. He's now got everything done for normal mode, but when we use Yoshi's team, we'll likely be on a higher difficulty unless I consider him to be the weakest in the league. And now we can grab Yoshi's special, the egg. One additional thing we can take care of. I'm going to leave Bowser Jr. for now because there's no additional characters we need to recruit off of the Yoshi's team. We got everybody. So instead, I'm actually going to go ahead and end things off here. I know this is a little bit earlier than one would expect, but yeah, that's pretty much all I want to do for this episode. Showing anything new would either take too much time, or we've kind of already shown part of it, so... One other thing we could do, actually, is we could talk about some of the extra abilities that characters have. Let's do that real quick.
Two quick notes before I start the list here. Number one, ultimately I decided to post-commentate the character abilities to make this more concise and quick. And number two, I'm actually using a completely different mic from what I've ever used before, so this will be a little bit of a test to see how it sounds. There are 10 main special abilities in the game, so let's go over them. Number 1, Wall Jump. This ability allows a character to jump against a wall and then again into the air. Think similar to what Luigi does in the intro of this game, which is fitting because he's one of the characters that can do this. Unfortunately, the ability itself does not have quite the same brilliance.
Not only does this skill require any character with it being in the outfield with the ball hit deep into their territory, the skill also requires extremely good timing. The window for this to work correctly and getting both the jump to activate and then also catching the ball is bordering on perfect. You might as well treat this as an ability that does not exist. Also, lest we forget, there's only 2 stadiums that actually have pretty high back walls, meaning that on some stages, this is just outright not going to be useful at all. Number 2, Super Jump. This ability allows its users to jump higher than normal. Most characters that have this are the characters you would expect, characters either known for their jumping or ones that can outright fly. It's essentially a better wall jump. It doesn't require the wall, and while the timing for catching the ball is still important, this one's actually usable. I know, exciting, isn't it? Number 3, Super Catch. This ability means that anybody catching the ball will not make any errors unless they're hit with a special move or with a stage hazard. For my money's worth, this is the best ability in the game. Having the ability to know that a fly ball will be caught instead of there just being a good chance of it being caught is invaluable. If somebody's got this, put them as a fielder or shortstop unless you have an extremely good reason not to. Number 4, Sliding Catch. Characters with this can slide to catch the ball. We saw this in practice mode in episode 1, and it can be a really helpful ability when the ball is just barely out of your reach. You'd be surprised how often this ability comes up, and it's definitely in the top half of the abilities in this game. Number 5, Body Check. When there is a play where the ball is going to arrive at the base at the same time as a player that has this ability has the chance to kick in. If successful, the player will crash into the basement of the catcher and successfully reach the base. If it fails, they're out. You don't get any control over this ability, and it's honestly just going to come up at pure random, with a slightly stronger chance if you're the type to cut your base rounding really close. In Mario Super Sluggers for the Wii, this would be called a close play, so if you've ever seen one of those, now you kind of know what it looks like, the only difference being there is no button prompt. Number 6, Quick Throw. The player throws the ball without any need for a windup. It's a really good ability for fielders to have, especially because most of the people that have this don't typically throw the ball super hard, so this helps cutting down their time throwing the ball itself. The only way this doesn't come in handy is if a ball just never ends up in somebody's direction that has this ability. Nice and helpful. Number 7, Ball Dash. While holding the ball, this player will move extremely quickly. Honestly, this will mostly just catch you by surprise when a baseman suddenly catches you trying to steal a base, catches up to you, and tags you out. Otherwise, not much use. People with this ability should often be playing first, second, third, or shortstop. It's okay, but more importantly than actually using the ability, you should really remember who has the ability more than anything. Number 8, Clamber. These players can climb walls. Yep, here it is, the most useless ability of the 10. This is almost never going to come in handy. It's awkwardly controlled, outright useless on maps with low walls, which again is all but 2 of them. Yeah, don't ever expect to use this unless you are intentionally trying to use it. Number 9, Tongue Catch, Suction, and Magical Catch. All 3 of these essentially play identically, they're just on different characters, so we're grouping them together. Players are able to reach balls normally uncatchable using their tongue, sucking the ball in with their snout, or casting magic on the ball to catch it. These are basically slightly better sliding catches, otherwise they're essentially identical. They get more range, and it's honestly really nice to have. I'd recommend any of these 3. Number 10, Laser Beam. If someone's running for home and this player has the ball, they can throw it lightning fast to home plate. Now ideally, you would be a good enough defender to never need this ability, but it is a good Hail Mary for trying to stop an opponent from scoring. Note that not all laser beams are created equal. People that naturally throw the ball harder will continue to naturally throw it harder than those that throw the ball weak, such as Luigi, who also has this ability. As I've now slightly changed the time of this video, I also need to record an outro. So, that being said, thank you all for watching, and next time on Mario Superstar Baseball, with all the characters on Mario's team taken care of, at this point we're pretty much free to just work on unlocking characters, unlocking Captain's abilities, and then going to take on Bowser. We'll also be showing off the minigames and character bios, so look forward to seeing those too. Till then, take care guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Later!